Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Christ, our paschal lamb, has been sacrificed. Let us then feast with joy in the Lord. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
My friends, the Lord be with you.
With your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
When Judas had left them, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and God will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. I give you a new commandment: love one another. As I have loved you, so you also should love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." The Gospel of the Lord.
Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
Good morning. Hope your week has been wonderful. Mine has been adventuresome. Some of you might have noticed a little bit of a slower pace this morning because this 30-year-old Phil knows what it's like to feel like he's 80 today, because I had to have minor surgery so that they could find my brain on Thursday. No, they had to repair a minor hernia. So it's a slow going the next couple of days and probably the next couple of weeks. So thank you to Deacon Brogdon for being on with all my masses this weekend. I will warn you that this homily was inspired under the time of painkillers, so I hope it makes sense. Leave-taking. We all experience it in our own lives. We experience it when a soldier leaves home to go on a year of deployment, and that last hug or that last kiss. We experience it with our sons and our daughters as they head off from graduation of high school to college. We experience it in moments of tragedy, in a car accident, when we leave our loved one in an ICU, not sure if they are going to make it through the night. And unfortunately, our neighborhood has experienced that this week in the tragic death of Coombe Miller. We experience leave-taking in the time of new jobs, of leaving our old coworkers behind, and then the adventure of finding new ones. We experience leave-taking in moving to new neighborhoods. These are part of life's moments of transition. Our life is not sedentary. Our life does not stay in one place. But our life is always transitory. But it's those moments in the present, those relationships that we make in the present, that leave an impact on our heart. That's what it means to live. If we don't feel that connection, then we're not living. But in this morning's gospel, there are two leave-takings that take place. The first is with Judas, and the second is with Jesus. The first, we hear of Judas in the impending passion, death, and crucifixion of our Lord as he prepares to betray Jesus. And then we hear the leave-taking of Jesus as he commands his disciples. He commands his disciples to the greatest and the newest commandment, to love one another. In the early days of the church, ancient atheist historians were noted in saying of the early Christian church, the thing that set them apart was love. As a matter of fact, it's noted from an ancient Roman historian who was not of the Christian faith, said, "See how they love one another. See how they love one another." The hallmark of love as a pinnacle of Christian faith and Christian discipleship has been with us since the time of Jesus. But in this Easter season, we are always reminded that not only is our life transitory, that our life constantly moves, but that love must be a verb. Love must not be something that we rely on for ourselves, but love must be actions from our life. But love must not be about ourselves, but always geared towards another. That's the point that Jesus was trying to make to his disciples, because they had no idea, bless you, they had no idea that the impending death and resurrection of Jesus was going to happen. But what they did have in front of them was the present moment. What they did have in front of them was the Jesus who was giving them the path to follow. And what they had in the present moment was that relationship. The same is true for us today. We have the risen Jesus in the present moment. We have that relationship with him. But it's up to us to show the world who we stand for as Christian disciples. And who we stand for is the risen Jesus. How we show that to the world is by our actions of love and our actions of mercy. Pope Francis said this on Easter Sunday. He said, "The gospel of Easter is very clear. We need to go back to see the risen Jesus and to become witnesses of the resurrection. This is not to go back in time. It is not a kind of nostalgia, but it's returning to our first love." If Pope Francis is true, then this must be a legacy of every Christian. And how we leave that legacy of love is by turning love into a verb, not for ourselves and not for our own gain, but for the gain of one another. May we be challenged in these remaining days of this Easter season to be his love in the simple actions of all that we meet, to be his love to all who need it, to be his love, the love of the risen Jesus, that will surely turn this world back to him, back to our Maker, and back to our risen Lord. May we be his love every day of our life.